All right, great. What are your thoughts so far?
Thoughts? I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah, okay. Good.
I wrote an article the other day about, the chemistry reasons that I think we should sign him, like team chemistry wise, and then about 12 hours later, you guys signed him. So.
Yeah. I like the we part there. She's on board. She's a Rocky, right? Working together, Patrick.
Why are you looking at me?
Oh no, I'm looking at.
Patrick, yeah.
Thomas isn't here.
Yeah, because Thomas isn't here.
Where's Thomas?
Oh, he's doing
He's on conference call.
Yeah, he's doing a conference call. He can't be here. I'll fill in for Thomas.
You'll give him this. You'll give him this riveting stuff I'm going to say today.
I will.
All right, let's do it.
Well, speaking of Carlos Gonzalez,
Okay.
we talked to you after the
Game yesterday,
We did.
right?
Question. One of the things
Please.
that Cargo, I don't think it's any secret, did struggle with a lot last year was against left-handers pitching. Do you foresee using him in the lineup a lot versus lefties? Does that remain to be seen? Are you going to mix and match a lot?
He's going to
with him?
start 36 games versus left-handed starters.
36? Do you have the dates?
No, yeah, I do. Yeah, March. No, let me see. April 5th, I got him in there. April 12th is Clayton Richard. He's in. No, come on. No, it's a fair question. Tough to answer right now, right? But we're aware of everybody's statistical numbers, right?
Sure.
So I mean, all this is so often based on how a player's playing, how's he swinging, how's he performing
At the time.
at the time,
Okay.
right? I mean, it's really tough to say you're going to do something when it's fluid all the time, right? The game is, the game will sort of tell you some of the things you need to do.
Okay.
So, but we're aware of also some history
Sure.
of from all our guys,
Okay.
and as it constitutes the construction of a lineup on a particular date, we take a lot of factors into play on all the of all the 12 position players. So it's really hard to to be definitive one way or the other, especially at this point,
Sure.
March 12th. Awesome. You guys have a great day.
You gonna go over and watch him?
Uh,
Or do you need to see him early?
I might go down. Yeah, I might go down today. See how. But I like going down to see everybody though. There's like 550 guys down there, or so.
You liked being seen, right?
Huh?
You liked being seen when you were there.
I loved it as a minor league player. Have like big league staff come down. That's fun. But I might pop down. Yeah, we got some stuff here I got to do up on these fields. But I think they get started around 11, so I might pop on down there. See Carlito.
Cargo said he wanted to play today. Did he make any push for that?
He's playing.
I mean, in a big league game. You just want to ease him into live action, big league style.
I don't know whether ease is the word, but I think there's, I think it's probably beneficial today that he, sees some live pitching and gets multiple times in a batter's box, seeing pitches thrown. I think that's more practical today,
Right.
and maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yes,
You can give him more at bats down there.
he can get. Yeah, he
Does he
could.
go every inning?
He can get. He can get. He can get a very good workout today. He can see live pitching. 6, 7, 8 at bats, whatever he needs, as opposed to 3 here. I think when we put our heads together, that we thought this was maybe the plan for the next couple days.
Couple days.
But you guys have been running, stealing, hitting run, but stealing a lot
Yeah.
in spring, which
Yes.
is pretty natural, I think, to see how that's going.
Right.
But is that a goal of this team to employ that more than you did last year?
I think organizationally, we're pushing that a little bit more in spring training, and I think we'll see that during the season. I think again, spring training is a great place to challenge players and let players grow in certain areas, to expand their game. And this spring we talked about stealing bases. Trevor, Talkman, Tapia, Hampson, Cuevas, the number of fellows that we think on our 40-man roster, guys in the upper level minor leagues, this should be a part of their game, and to try to really advance their game in this area. So that's why you're seeing guys push it, because it should carry over, and should they should be more comfortable, and it becomes more natural during the regular season wherever they are, AA, AAA, big leagues. So yes, again, there's we want guys to truly display all their skills, and spring training is a great place for these guys to practice.
Topman seems to have an knack for it.
Yeah.
He seems to be
Yeah, he's a heady player. He's a good base runner. I think the Rockies in general, coming over here last year, and the emphasis they place on base running on the developmental side and player development, outstanding. Great. I think there's some great base running coaches, and we really stress it, and I think it shows up, in the big leagues when guys get to the big leagues. So, but again, I think that guys with speed have to use it, and we want those guys to be those players who apply the pressure on the opponent, and I think we have a number of them: Desmond, Story, Dahl, Hampson, Talkman, Cuevas, Tapia. So, and you look at Hilliard. You look at the Lancaster team. Look at the amount of stolen bases that group had. Oh my gosh. Wes Rogers, Hampson, Hilliard, Daza. Forget Daza. He'll be in AA. Runner. So yeah.
I think that you don't see that much. I mean, the stolen bases, that's kind of yesterday's game. Can that, emphasizing that, can you give a few wins?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's part of baseball. Yeah, it depends on roster construction, right? But I truly believe that it's a component that if you have it, you should use it. And I think the pressure that you bring into a series is felt by the opponent if you have speed and if you run the bases aggressively. Are there going to be some times when you get thrown out, going first to third, or a stolen base? Yes, and people take that as a negative. I think the pressure that you create, it changes how the team against you plays. The pitch selection, the pitcher being quicker to the plate. These types of things, don't show up in box scores. A pitcher who's normally 1.5 to the plate has to speed up to 1.25 to keep Hampson from stealing second base or Story, and it affects his pitches, and it affects the catcher's pitch selection because he doesn't want to throw a curveball. He's more apt to throw a fastball because he has a better chance of throwing the guy out if he runs. These are things that don't show up in the box score that help you win games. That even if you do get thrown out, or if you do go first to third, it's just the inner workings of the game that are never talked about publicly
I think when it comes to
in
that,
blogs and stuff like that. Why are they stealing to get thrown out? 20% of the time, or
The metrics group the analytics group is not real big on stolen bases, right?
No.
do you find yourself now?
They like homers.
You do too, though, right?
Oh, so do I. Hey, don't get me wrong. I love the homer.
Now that you're not on the mound.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I gave up 200 and something, 250 something. I gave a bunch.
When
I
it
gave a
comes to-
bunch.
When it comes to that, has that changed over time where maybe years ago, managers and coaches were trying to get guys to back off a bit, where now you may want to have to push guys because the stolen base isn't as much a part of the game?
Yeah, I think you have to. Well, I think you have guys who truly want to steal. They like it. I mean, that's they dig it that they're base stealers. Other guys have the speed that don't have that mentality. That's where we gotta push guys and get them over the hump of, hey, you're a base stealer. It's okay. They want to sort of be base stealers, but they don't want to get thrown out.
Because
That's a bad combo.
looking at your organization, it looks like for the last few years, you've been pushing at a little bit more at the minor league level. Is this something that maybe we'll be seeing more of in the future because of?
Depending on the roster construction at the big leagues. But if these guys end up being big leaguers, some of the guys we've talked about, it's part of their game.
You pitched against the Blake Street Bombers, who were known for all the home runs in Coors
Right.
Field. Did that impact you with the way they stole
Yeah.
bases?
Well, yeah. Well,
They were pretty good
sure.
at it.
It bothers players, pitchers, catchers, or even defenders. Power and speed. Okay, when you're on the mound and Stanton, Blackman, guys with power, that's bothersome. And it bothers you when Billy Hamilton's in the box and other guys who run. It bothers you. Now, guys who, at the high end of this, Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs, I mean, they're bothersome because they, but not, they're pests. But there's a lot of players that, don't bother you as much.
We had guys like Bichette and Galarraga that were threats to run.
Yeah.
That had to be.
Yeah. Awful. Bad. Molitor.
Yeah.
They had a little power. Ricky Henderson, power. I mean, guys in my era, But yeah, power's, it's bothersome. Don't feel good. And speed, it doesn't feel good. So when you run the bases hard, hey, and you're in the outfield and there's a base hit, you can't just lay back and field the ball and lob it into the infield. You got to charge it and be ready to make a play because the Rockies are going to go first or third. You got to be ready. And if we have Desmond, Story, Dahl, Tapia, whoever makes our team, we want these guys to apply pressure. But what's also happened now, Tom, over the years is that pitchers, organizations, baseball has done a better job of controlling the running game. Right? Pitchers timed it's from the defensive standpoint, it's a big part of coaching that you have to be quicker to the plate. You just have to. The throwovers, the step off, controlling the run. It's become much more important part of defending. So it's made it a little tougher to run if you're an average runner.
Now, speaking of clubhouse and roles and everything, and kind of circling back to Carlos Gonzalez, what role do you expect him to have in this clubhouse this year?
Well, I think Carlos will assume the same role that he's had over the years that he's been here. Which when I got over here, I heard that Carlos was one of the guys in the clubhouse and maybe the key guy of really bringing guys together or a great sounding board for everyone. He has experience in this game. Again, Carlos is able to connect with everybody. He's a connector. I think he understands the up and downs of this game, and he's able to to shed light on the positive. And also, I think he's also a guy that can get into somebody too, and be real honest and open with players about what needs to be done. And I saw it firsthand last year what a big role he played throughout the course of our year, even at a time when he was struggling, which is a great trait to have, and it was really admirable that he kept his he kept his positivity. He was upbeat even through struggles, and that's wonderful.
Now, even with his signing again, it seems to kind of create a little bit of a jam, I guess, in the outfield spot.
I look at the other way.
Okay.
I look at it as a positive. And I was telling Patrick Saunders of the Denver Post yesterday, and Thomas Harding of MLB.com and Trace, that the more good players you have, the better off you're going to be, right? I mean,
Right.
You need talent, and that's a good thing. You want to have good players, and adding another one into the mix is, I think, a good thing.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, guys.
Thanks,